Hello again, everybody. This is Green Bean with RV Theming, and today I'm excited to talk to you guys about Lagoon. I've been wanting to go to this place for a few years now, and I finally made it. But I wanted to share with you an interesting little wrinkle. Did you know that Lagoon has their own RV park right next door to the amusement park? Look how close you are to the coasters. They have a private entrance, a private exit, and you can take pictures and stand under the coasters. If anybody's like me, I can do this all day. Just sit under a roller coaster and relax. And that's what you can do at the RV park at Lagoon. Another little interesting little nugget is that if you stay at the RV park, they knock $20 off each ticket price. So essentially, if you have a wife and 2 kids or that kind of a thing, you can basically stay at the RV park for free when you buy 4 tickets to the park. It works out really, really well, and I liked it. All these so far are views from the RV park. You can see Wicked and Colossus and the Wild Mouse and a bunch of other rides right from the RV park. It's very, very cool. So we actually got there in the morning. I wanted to be there for rope drop. I wanted to be able to get on the coasters I wanted to get on right from the beginning. And we were able to do that. We arrived just about 9:30, 9:45, and we were the first people on Colossus and the first people on the Spider for that day, which is, come on, getting to be the first rides on 2 coasters in one park on one day is just about as good as it gets. You can see here we were walking in, the park was pretty empty in the morning, which is another rarity in my experience. You can see there's the yellow rope, and the officer was maintaining the crowd there, and look, there's rope drop, and here we go. Watch this. Everybody was running right to the first coaster, which is roller coaster, the wooden Miller coaster from the 1920s. Every single person there ran right to that coaster, and that's not my little philosophy. I like to run as far as I can and work outside in, from the back to the front. That's how I do things. There's Spider, and this is the entranceway to Spider, the spinning coaster. And that little guy right there will squirt you every now and again. Just squirts you with some venom. It gets you nice and wet, and that's what the Spider looks like, the spinning coaster. So like I said, we were the first people on Colossus and Spider here, which is Spider is the spinning coaster, really good as far as spinning coasters go, but Colossus is I ended up being my favorite coaster in the whole place. I know Cannibal gets all the press, but this is the old Schwarzkopf from 19. Let's see, I put the stats up here in a second because I forget. My brain doesn't work the way it used to. 1983, 87 feet high, 50 miles an hour, with 2,300 feet of track. And just like every other Schwarzkopf, it's very compact, very intense, a lot of positive G's. And I'll let you watch the rest of this point of view, and then we'll talk about it. That's great. That hat. It is now 10:30. We got in here at 9:45, and then they did rope drop at 10. We've done 4 roller coasters in this half hour. I've also lost my hat on my second ride on Colossus, and I lost my vape on Wicked, it seems. It's a good day so far and a terrible day so far.
Man.
How you liking the coasters so far?
I like it.
Which one was your favorite so far?
I can say Wicked.
Yeah, of course. Me too. So there was Wicked, and this next one is Roller Coaster, one of the best names in the business, but it was built in such a time when there were no other coasters to compete with it, so it was simply the roller coaster, and it kept the name. This is only going to be a half point of view. I just want to give you a little idea of what this one looks like. It's not the most intense ride in the world or anything like that, but it's fun. It's a classic Woody with a pretty smooth track considering. So one of the cool things about Lagoon is that it is it's a one-off. It's a family-owned park. It's not part of Six Flags or Cedar Fair or any of those larger entities. It's just Lagoon. So they have a lot to offer as far as family parks go. They have obviously they have roller coasters. There are 10 of them at Lagoon, and some of them are pretty damn good, quite frankly. But they also have so many other rides, and we happened to go there during the Frightmares, which is their Halloween period, kind of the Halloween Horror Nights type of a thing that they do. They call it Frightmares, and there was about 8 haunted houses available. One of the cool things they do is they have them rated from scariest to most kid-friendly. Now, there were the little ghouls and stuff. You can see this girl messing with my daughter. They weren't really there. They were kind of tame, and really what they were there to do was ensure social distancing. So they were dressed like ghouls, like in scare zones and stuff like that, but they weren't really all that scary. They were messing around a little bit, but they were just there to make sure you stayed away from each other. Now, this is Terror Ride, one of the really classic haunted houses in this country, and they redid this one in 2017, and it's pretty good.
Wow, it's short.
So another classic dark ride that they have over at Lagoon is Dracula's Castle. This one, unfortunately, is not quite as updated as Terror Ride, but again, it's a classic, and it's really fun. And it's the kind of haunted house that you can bring, younger kids into. I wouldn't bring my 4-year-old in there. Not that I have a 4-year-old, but I wouldn't bring one with me. But my 9-year-old and 12-year-old were totally fine in there. So another cool aspect of Lagoon that you don't see at too many other parks, they actually are well on their way to building mostly their own coasters. This was their first. It's Bombora, a family coaster, similar to like a Vekoma family coaster. That's kind of what it feels like.
It's closed. Dude, I am so upset.
But let me share something with you now. One of the secret little pleasures that I have is riding Schwarzkopfs. And when I got there and found out that the Jetstar 2, one of the only Jetstar coasters in existence, was actually closed, I was miserable. Miserable. And I'm still not over it, quite frankly. But that all being said, let's start to take you over to what really is the main attraction of Lagoon. You'll see some of the flat rides that they have. Really unique one is Samurai, and Lagoon is known for having lines that spill out into the midway there. They don't really have much infrastructure in place as far as queues go, so you see all these what look like the longest lines in the world, but they're not all that bad. They just have nowhere else to go, so they end up all in the midway there. But so we're walking over to Cannibal. Now, Cannibal, as you see, it will eat your cell phone, and don't I know that after losing my hat and my vape and everything else. Cannibal is another coaster that Lagoon built themselves. It looks a little bit like a Gerstlauer, but it has some really cool elements. This is an impressive coaster to be built in-house. 208 feet tall, 70 miles per hour. Like I said, the cars and track look like a Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, but there are 3 rows as opposed to 2, and there are no over-the-shoulder restraints or anything like that. It's just a lap bar, and there are numerous inversions. And this coaster, look at that. How did it become nighttime already? I'll take you on this little dip here to one of the steepest drops in the world. There we go, and suddenly, just like that, boom, daylight. But that's what it looks like, that first drop. They are famous for what has been affectionately titled a Lagoon Roll. And And as you see, go through these little dive loops and all that, we're going to take you over to this Lagoon Roll, which is a double barrel roll. It goes one way and then reverses the other way, all with a lap bar, and it's frightening. Here we go. Look at that. One way, and back the other way. Skiddly-doo, and that's that. So the Cannibal is one of the coolest coasters. Not my favorite coaster in the park. That title goes to Colossus, like I said, but I'm a little bit of a Schwarzkopf nerd, and I love me some Positive G's. This is the Bat, the precursor to some other Vekoma inverted coasters like Dragonflyer at Dollywood and some others. This one, unfortunately, is a bit rough. It's a family coaster. It's pretty mild as far as the elements go, but it somehow still can give you a headache. Not my favorite coaster, but the credit is in the bag, and that will be that. Just know it's going to be a little bit rougher if you go on there to the Bat. It's going to bang your head around a little bit, more than you'd expect. And as you can see here from the Sky Ride, Lagoon is a gorgeous park. It's placed right nestled in the valley of these mountains here, and there's lakes and trees and everything else right near Salt Lake City. It is just a stunning park. And I gotta say, it was one of my favorite parks that we've been to on this trip of ours. As you know, we are driving around the country with the goal of riding every single coaster in the world, and this will take me to the favorite thing about staying in the RV park: private exit. You walk out this door, and you're home. So Lagoon, one of the most beautiful parks anywhere on the West Coast. It's not on the coast, but anywhere in the West. And I highly recommend that you get out there, ride those coasters, and enjoy yourselves.